there, my name is Belinda Dovston and welcome to the I Ching Cafe. In today's episode, we take a look at the month of May 2019 and have a look at what does May have in store for us, and particularly what we should pay careful attention to in the month of May. So let's get to it. We start off the month of May with Hexagram 18, which is called Work on What Has Been Spoiled. This is a state of change that talks about getting the house in order, pulling out the weeds out of the garden, getting our filing done, getting our ducks in a row. And the reason why we are having a challenge this month is because we have let something fall into chaos. And so we are being asked that if we want to maximize the opportunity of May 2019, that what we do is we go and get that house in order. Whether that's chaos or lack of admin, whatever type of chaos that might be in your business or in your personal life, is to go and get stuck into an area of chaos. Now we have to accept responsibility that this chaos has come from our own doing, or rather a lack of doing. And so when we think about chaos, look in your life where you have neglected a particular area in your life which has got neglected and is now starting to cause you some hassles. That is the area where you're going to have to do some work. And yes, the sun is beating down, it's hot outside, the garden is full of weeds, we're on our knees, we're pulling out those weeds, it's effort, and we're tired and we're thirsty, yet we are being called to tackle those weeds and to tackle the garden in the month of May. Now, as we look into the month, there are two changing lines that came out for our question of what should we focus on. A changing line is when you are casting the coins or you are asking and drawing coins on your app. There are particular points of change that are so dynamic and so charged, they want to flick-flack into the opposite. And so they draw our attention to particular points of advice that the I Ching wants to give us. And if you open up an I Ching book and you look at the changing lines section for each hexagram, you'll see those here. So we have changing lines in the first and the fourth position. Let's get into what those mean. The first changing line culminates round about the 10th of May, and this changing line says, the challenges we face in this garden we're trying to sort out have come from adhering rigidly to traditional ways of doing things. The old way, the old school approach to solving problems or running our businesses or participating in relationships. And so we're now dealing with the chaos that is culminating because of the traditional approaches. So how do we tackle this? We're being asked in the first part of the month to have a look at where might our challenges be directly related to these old ways, the oldie schoolie ways. And what we need to do is we need to renovate those. We need to overcome the decay in the garden by putting in place technology, not necessarily physical technology, but symbolically putting in place new approaches to managing this garden. Really sit down and challenge yourself to look at all the typical things you do just because this is the way we've always done them, and challenge yourself to renovate those. As we head towards the 20th of May throughout the month, we hit our second changing line. And that changing line says we're in a situation where we're starting to see the seeds of challenge popping up through the ground. These weeds are popping out and we're starting to see the consequences of something that's far, far in the distant past. So imagine for a moment you see a weed pop out, and when you start pulling on that weed, what you actually start pulling on is a runner root that's running under the ground, and you tug and you realize there's this whole network of roots that is holding this whole system tethered deep into the ground. This is an indication that there's an old past issue, perhaps a hurt or a challenge or an obstacle in your distant past in your business or in your personal life that is starting to show this old past issue is now really starting to hold us up and create problems in this garden. And that is what you're being challenged to focus on as we head towards the 20th of the month. There is a temptation that when you pull on that weed and you just feel like this root ball is just locked in, that you say, you know what, this is actually too much work. I don't have time for this now. I've got to go out and see clients. I've got to go out and do stuff. I've got to go and, get my work done. I don't have time to go back and pull and dig and root out this old buried past issue. Yet the I Ching is saying if you don't put in the effort, if we don't sweat out in that midday sun to go and haul out this old issue, we are really going to come a cropper with the consequences of this weed that's sitting underneath the surface outside of our peripheral vision. Let's just put the effort in and get that sorted. And the good news is, as we round out towards the end of the month, there is wonderful energy waiting for us if we tackle this decay problem, if we go in and sort out the garden. And that is the Hexagram 14, which is called Great Abundance. Gold. Piles of gold. It's a way of thinking about abundance, not just in terms of wealth or monetary value, but wealth in terms of being able to access a wealth of resources, of energy, of useful, good, goldy stuff to help us as we round out the end of the month of May. So, in summary, we are challenged to go and tackle the garden. We have created the disorder. Remember, everything tends towards chaos. That's what we learn in school, that idea of entropy. And so unless we put in the effort, our garden will become weeded and will become chaotic. We have to put the effort in to go and correct it. Go and think about a particular area of your life that is full of weeds and go and tackle that, even if it's hot and you're sweating and you're thirsty and you're hungry. Go and do it, because the abundance that is waiting for us at the end of the month to support us in the efforts, well worth it. Good luck for the month of May. And if you'd like to keep on getting our weekly overviews as they come live, please remember to subscribe, like, share. You know what to do. And go along to ichingcafe.net to find out more. See you soon.